Definitely bringing you the pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Let's go! Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 584 of the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. I am Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another awesome fun time as we do each and every week. With Dr. C and PMP, with my bros, with my sisters, with my misters and my misses. Wishing you the best wishes. Serving you like dishes. The best platter on the plate. Don't be late, but stay up late with me and PNP. Yeah, let's go, everybody. 584 episodes of the Pancakes and Powerslam Show. I am here live broadcast and on podcast. Blog Talk Radio. Be sure to listen to the podcast on the archives. But for those who want to ask questions live to me to listen to for the podcast, be sure to hop on that YouTube channel, Pancakes and Powerslams. Subscribe so you can ask your questions here. And do not fear. Don't be here. Better to be here to be there than to be there. Beware. Don't beware. Just playing. I'm just playing. That's what I'm saying. What I'm spraying. Let's go, everybody. Having fun as always. Great time with PNP. Let's go. 584. Giving you some more like every other week. PNP. Yo, the Dr. C in the PNP Nation. As always, on your airways. What's going on, everybody? We got the comments loaded and locked in just like every single week. Of course, live on Blog Talk Radio podcast, but we are also live on my YouTube channel and Facebook channel, Pancakes and Powerslams. We got a bunch of questions ready to be asked. Of course, the hashtag is hashtag AskDoc for your questions to be answered. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, and let the people know about Pancakes and Powerslams. All right, let's start with Rorito. See, the main topic today is the Judgment Day breaking up? Is there a breakup in the Judgment Day? Rorito's already ready. Asking the question. My belief is Priest will leave Judgment Day and newest member will be JD McDonough. That is his thoughts on it, actually. So here's the thing. Priest leaving Judgment Day would make them so much weaker because Priest is a amazingly strong member of the Judgment Day. He's the muscle. He's the heavy. JD McDonough is smaller than Finn Balor is, and Finn Balor is a relatively small guy. So if you're trading Priest for JD McDonough and still trying to make the faction look strong, that's a wrong move. That's a bad move. I don't think they're going to split up anytime soon. I do think I mentioned this on the Raw post show of what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to try to make some type of riff, kind of. I do see a triple threat match happening at Money in the Bank. I do see that. I would have preferred Priest and Rollins because I do think Priest needs to get his shine because you're throwing Finn Balor in matches again. Doesn't really mean nothing. Hasn't really built up a lot of equity lately to even have a title spot. It doesn't. That just didn't make sense of why that is the case. But for the sake of the Judgment Day, I do think we'll see a triple threat. I do think we can see a triple threat. I'm not sure if we will see it, but I do think we can see a triple threat match. Now, does this give Priest shine? I think that it takes away some shine from Priest because I do think it should have been a singles match. That's my take on it. I do think this should have been a singles match between Priest and Seth Rollins. Now, does this lead to Judgment Day somehow winning the title? I doubt it. However, by the time Money in the Bank comes, it'll be 6-week reign, 5-week reign, somewhere around there of Seth Rollins, which would be a short reign. I just don't see Finn Balor becoming champion. It was a moment where he was coming from NXT. He was a babyface. His main roster run wasn't tarnished when he became Universal Champion. It was a fresh face, which I do appreciate. So that Finn Balor from then compared to today's Finn Balor are two different Finn Balors as far as how they've treated him as far as just on the books is concerned. So I don't see the same Finn Balor. So I don't see it, man. I just don't see it as far as him being a world champion again. Damien Priest, he's never been world champ. So here's his opportunity. And I do see a triple threat match happening. However, though, I'm just not I just that doesn't wow me. That doesn't intrigue me much. I don't care about a possible or a tease of a Judgment Day breakup or Judgment Day implosion. I don't care about that. Like it just to me it feels like a great value version of the bloodline breakup. Do you want an implosion storyline on Raw because you have an implosion storyline on SmackDown? The bloodline implosion storyline is leaps and bounds better than any type of tease within breaking up the Judgment Day. The founder of the Judgment Day was kicked out, and the Judgment Day 2.0 isn't better than Judgment Day 1.0. Now, Dominic being there is best for business, but he could have done that with Edge though. So, it's one of those things like eh, be, Dominic isn't Dominic because of Finn or Priest. I mean, Dominic just he fell in being that's just snobby, snot nosed kid that is super hateable because he's just that bratty kid who still complains about his dad, although his dad has done so many good things and positive things for him. He still finds something to complain about. That's an amazing hill, however you want to put him. So I don't think that Finn Balor or Damian Priest was the contributors of Dominic getting the heat that he has. It was just the right place at the right time, man. Like he's just getting just a ton of heat, which is great for him. So I just any type of Judgment Day implosion, anything to me is just it just feels super great value. Like it feels like a knockoff Fago version of the bloodline. And yeah, I'm just not I'm not into it, man. Do I feel Priest will get a huge push after departing Judgment Day? See, they're not really doing a good job pushing him now. Even in the Judgment Day, I I, I think that he can have a great oh man, this thing is only like 10 minutes or 15 minutes long. So without further ado, hey, for those listening to PNP on the podcast, you got your short version. For some reason, within the Blog Talk Radio, it only allowed for a lot less. Maybe we can change it. Okay, here we go. I think maybe we changed it. Okay, there we go. There we go. Was able to change it real quick. Okay, I see you. Very nice. Just like that, we were able to change it to longer. So okay, cool, 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 cool. Getting back into getting acclimated with Blog Talk Radio. I think I changed it. I think I was able to successfully extend the time of the podcast. I think I did it. If not, so long. If if so, continue to join us here on Pancakes and Power Slams. So as far as going back to Priest, do I think he'll get a huge push after departing Judgment Day? I don't. It depends on how he's getting booked. It depends on how he's getting booked. As a heel, I think he needs Judgment Day to help him in that regard, as far as keeping his heel run. If he were to break off as a babyface again, I think that he could get a Razor Ramon style push. Actually, I think that he can get a bigger push than Razor Ramon because Razor Ramon never won the world championship. I see a lot of the trajectory of Razor Ramon and Damian Priest. Minus the fact that Priest came up in the main roster as a baby face with Bad Bunny, and then he turned heel. He won the mid card championship, then he turned heel. So minus that, I see a lot of trajectory similarities when it comes to Damian Priest's push, similar to Razor Ramon. In '92, Razor Ramon was a mid card / upper mid card heel. He had the tag match with him and Flair against Perfect and Savage at Survivor Series of 92. 93, he ended up going against Bret Hart for the for the WWE Championship. So he had a solid trajectory as a heel, and then he ended up turning babyface and having an amazing upper mid card status as a babyface. The only thing is they never pulled the trigger and pulled the switch on him becoming world champion. That's the problem that I had with the trajectory of Razor Ramon. I know that substance abuse and things like that, that got in the way. Specifically after his jump to WCW, because curtain call, and then that leads to a jump over to WCW with Kevin Nash. So could Razor Ramon had been world champion if he would have stayed a little longer? Him and Nash were both money guys, and clearly the money was right when it came to WCW. And the return on investment with Nash and Hall ended up being very well, because it spawned the New World Order, which helped WCW defeat Raw for 83 weeks, or at least Raw not defeating. It's more like Raw not defeating WCW for 83 weeks. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there a tire few there as well, and some preemptive things that didn't do head to head as far as the Monday Night Wars as well. But WWE was unable to beat WCW for 83 weeks. I mean, that is true. And NWO had a lot to do with that. Scott Hall had a lot to do with that. So would he have been champion, Razor Ramon? I think possibly. And then here's another question: was Razor Ramon or was Scott Hall in WCW, because he was in such close affiliation with Kevin Nash? Was he overshadowed by Kevin Nash at any time in his career as far as who should be world champ? I'll be interested in knowing that. Like, I've interviewed Eric Bischoff many times, and I would be interested in asking him, was there ever any talks of having Scott Hall become the world champion? I might text him that. It's late Eastern, but I think he's on Mountain Time. It was a couple hours. It's still relatively late there too. Maybe when it gets a little earlier, one time soon. Remind me. Tweet me at Chris Prolific. Remind me to text Eric about that. Per our conversation, per my question asked on PNP, was there ever any consideration of having Scott Hall become WCW champion at all? I know he won the World War III pay-per-view to get the title shot. If I'm not mistaken, he went against Sting. Was it Sting or Savage? I think it was Sting, if I'm not mistaken. One of them, Sting or Savage. But he didn't. I know he won World War III, but he wasn't able to cash it in successfully. 97, he won World War III. So yeah, so Scott Hall won. So he won. Yeah, okay. So Uncensored 98 is when he went against Sting. Yeah. And Sting beats Scott Hall. That's what it was. Yeah. Uncensored. So he was able to cash in his title shot at Uncensored 98 and lost. So that's as close as he got to becoming WCW champion. So As far as, yeah, interesting conversation about Scott Hall. But as far as Damien Priest is concerned, I do think that he has a much. I think he has a great opportunity to become world champion. I think he should. I think he's put a lot of reps in, especially putting Bad Bunny over twice. One tagging with him, and the other going against him and putting him over. I'm doing well. I'm long day, long day as always. With therapy and prepping for 2 shows, doing the graphics for PNP, doing the countdown stuff for PNP, doing the countdown stuff for Unscripted, making sure I'm talking to, getting everything together as far as prepping for both shows and getting Ken Anderson, giving him the information, laying it out for him. And yeah, just yeah. Yeah. So a lot. And so every time I come to PNP, it's like home stretch. PNP's home stretch to me. It's like a job well done. Tuesdays are my longest days. Mondays are just about there too. Mondays and Tuesdays are just about equal as far as long days. I work about 12 and a half hours with my therapy and podcasting together. But I am done later on Tuesdays though. So yeah, man, put in work, but I do it for you. And that's why I'm here every single week for PNP. So with that being said, hey, if you have not become a patron on Pancakes and Power Slams, I put in the work to answer your questions. This is the most interactive chat in the whole entire universe when it comes to pro wrestling. And I appreciate you. We don't do any type of, clauses or any types of strings attached when it comes to this stuff. But if you have it in your heart to become a patron and show your appreciation for the hard work that I do to put into this show for you to be interactive, be sure to subscribe, patreon.com/Pancakes and Power Slams. Thank you very much. Dana Brooke was on NXT and Rollins is going to defend the title against Braun. What? Rollins is going to defend the title against Braun. Rollins is going to defend what? Not surprised that Dana Brooke was on NXT, but Seth Rollins is defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Braun Breaker. What? So Braun Breaker challenges. So we're going to get Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins on NXT for the World Heavyweight Championship. Or is Braun what? Okay, so he wants him to come to NXT and defend the title on NXT. Hold on. I'm listening to it now. What in the world? This is just I don't understand it. I don't So Braun wants him to come to NXT to defend the title. Not on a pay-per-view, but on NXT though. Okay. So Baron Corbin is going against Ilya Dragunov. So Ali is still putting in reps in it back in NXT. Okay. It is really hard to follow NXT. If I'm not, I've been seeing it from a weekly standpoint for so long, and so it's really, really difficult to like keep up with it because I haven't for so long. So yeah, so you have Braun Breaker. So you have Seth Rollins, the main roster champion. So forget NXT champion. I couldn't beat Carmelo Hayes. I lost the title against Carmelo Hayes, and I lost the rematch. So I can't go against Carmelo because I lost to him. So I didn't earn that. But somehow I feel like I've earned a world heavyweight championship spot against Seth Rollins, who is the main roster Raw champion. But the developmental NXT champion I couldn't get past. But somehow I'm a contender for the world champion. And I want the world champion of Raw to come down to NXT to defend the championship. WWE's booking is incredibly confusing. Incredibly confusing. Trivia. Oh, see, I have my trivia. I found my trivia bag, actually. But it's over there, not over here. So let's see. What's the next pay-per-view? Money in the Bank. I'll give you Money in the Bank trivia. Money in the Bank trivia. Let's see. All right, here we go. Who was the very first Money in the Bank winner? Who was the very first Money in the Bank winner? There we go. Okay. We're still saying, what in the world? This is so weird. It's saying that it's okay. This podcast setup and how they're doing it is a bit confusing. All right. There's your trivia. First Money in the Bank winner. See these lists, man, I'm gonna have to, it takes a long time to think about those lists. Let's see if I can think of this real quick. Top 5 favorite gimmicks of all time. Gimmicks? I don't have favorite gimmicks. I mean, Sting's my favorite wrestler. But as far as gimmicks, what do you specifically mean by gimmicks? Because that word can be used for several things. So gimmicks. Like gimmicks, like specify gimmicks for me. Was a shock Solo turned on Jimmy? No, because it was clear that he was pegged to be the heel in all of this, and I wasn't surprised that he was just being a heel again. What is it going to lead to? I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah. We shall see. Cool. Yeah, we shall see. Thoughts on Finger Poke of Doom? I think it was a horrible decision, and really was one of the things that's killed WCW as far as just overall momentum. I mean, talk about momentum killer. That was definitely one of the biggest momentum killers for WCW. 4 movies of all time. Oof. Farley movies. I'm a big Farley guy. Would I ever do live call-in type show with fans of yours online? I used to actually. My podcast, my Pancakes and Powerslams podcast, for the first. It's been a while. It was live call-ins. So yeah, I used to do live call-ins. The only thing is, I can't share my screen actually and do a live call-in. Hmm, I may. It depends. Hmm. I'll consider. I'll consider Rorito doing a live call-in. But I really want to bump my YouTube channel up, and so I don't want to get distracted from bumping up my YouTube channel. For so long for PNP, I was helping other channels and featuring PNP on other channels, and now I broke out a few months ago to do exclusively my channel, my YouTube channel. I have definitely grown in subs, but I need to grow much more. So my goal, with the help of PNP Nation, let's get 1,000 subs before the summer's over. All right. So everybody who's watching this, share it and let everybody know about PNP. Let's get 1,000 subs before the summer's over. All right. So my hand to your hand. Look, we are in this together, baby. So my project's your project, and your project is to bump PNP subs to over 1,000 by the end of the summer. All right. So September, late August, early September, going into late end of summer, going to the fall. I want to see 1,000 subs for PNP. If we're not 1,000 subs, you let me down. Let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. My hand to your hand. Don't let me down for the gathering, baby. Don't let me down. All right. Reigns is going to People's Wrestling Channel. Reigns is going to be making a movie with Malachi Black. Oh, that's interesting. That should be very interesting. Rito, do you see Finn getting betrayed by Dom in order for Dom to be new leader of Judgment Day? No, I don't see him being the leader of Judgment Day. I don't think his mic work is strong enough yet. This is a good question. Reigns' new title hasn't really clicked with me yet, man. It hasn't. The gray backing, I just can't get with the huge WWE logo. The black one, the one right there, right there. I ended up being okay with that one, but like for me, it's just like I grew the black title grew on me, but the gray, I mean the gold backing, just that big old WWE logo and then a gold back. I'm not a fan, man. It doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me. Like, make the title look like the Intercontinental Championship. That is the one championship that just looks different than all the other ones, because it looks like a old school belt. It looks like an old school title, man. It's finely crafted, and it looks like a reputable championship, not some big WWE stamped belt. Like, not a fan. What type of match would you have to do Brock do versus Cody at SummerSlam? What type of match would you have Brock do versus Cody at SummerSlam? They'll probably do a strap match, like old school Dusty style strap match, because Brock Lesnar getting pinned again. Like, I don't see, because Cody pinned Brock at Backlash. So I don't see Brock getting pinned twice they'll probably do some type of stipulation match, and they'll probably do a strap match, something to that nature, like a bull rope match or a strap match or something like that. Just a stipulation to actually protect Brock in a certain way. I can see that happening, and then doing the Dusty Rhodes Hall Times type of deal. Do I feel like Solo would be the first to dethrone Roman? No, not even close. He's got a long way to go. Rita, what are 3 wrestlers you wish you would have interviewed that are no longer alive? Good question. I'm not sure. Scott Hall is one of them. Scott Hall was on my bucket list to interview. I never got a chance to interview him. That it's passed away. I wish I would have interviewed. I mean, I can't think of anybody else. I can't really think of anybody else that I haven't interviewed that I wish I would have. I mean, Andre the Giant keeps like surfacing. Like, I would have really enjoyed interviewing Andre the Giant. Piper would have been a good choice to interview. Yeah, Piper or Dusty too. Actually, Dusty's one of my all-time favorites. So Dusty, Piper, Andre. There's your 3. Dusty, Piper, Andre. Scott Hall too as a 4th. So I'll give you one more. Who is your top 8 draws of all time in merchandise sales? I don't know. Top 8 draws of all time. My top 8 draws, I don't know. I can Google the top 8 draws of all time merchandise sales. But I remember having a Steve Austin shirt back in the day. This had to be over 35 years ago. So we're talking like 96. I had an Austin shirt. 97 I had an Austin shirt. Yeah. So this was 97 or 90. Yeah, I think it was 97. 97, 98, somewhere around there. 97, 98 is when I think it was 97 that I had an Austin shirt. I think, and now I have a few. I have a few Sting shirts. I have a Shinsuke Nakamura shirt. I was at an NXT event years ago, and I bought a Shinsuke shirt just because I like a Japanese print on it. It was pretty cool. I've got a Berserker shirt. I've got a Brock Lesnar shirt. That's because when the Suplex City, it was here type of deal when he was in Columbus. What other shirts do I have? I have a Jay Lethal shirt, but it was like made. It wasn't like it was like one of those tea companies that make shirts. It was a pretty cool shirt. It was like basically like a 6 degrees to Jay Lethal type of deal. Like Jay Lethal, like this person beat this person who beat this person who Jay Lethal beat type of deal. It was pretty cool. Actually, I've met him in person. I've met him in person multiple times, and in an ROH event, when I went to see ROH, I meant to say ROH at first, but when I went to an ROH event to see ROH, and I was doing some media for ROH, I saw him. He was doing a merchandise table, and I was recording, and I have the shirt on, and he popped for it. He thought it was a great shirt. I have a couple ROH shirts. I have a Jay Lethal shirt. I do have a Jay Lethal ROH shirt that says Undisputed. I think I wore it last week or a week before, maybe. Or maybe I wore it on my Monday show. So when he was the Undisputed champ, when he had the TV in the World Championship, I bought that shirt. I actually also have an ROH shirt that has been autographed by a bunch of people. I think when Scum was around, when Scum was real big, Scum autographed it. I believe a couple other people autographed it. I have a bunch of autographs on that shirt. I can't read any of them, by the way, but I have a bunch of autographs. And I have one of my favorite shirts is actually the print of the country, and it has like for every state it has like a wrestler's name that's from that state. I think that was pretty cool. That's actually one of my favorite, if not my favorite. I have a Southpaw Regional Wrestling shirt. I have a WrestleMania shirt. But I think that the states, the wrestling in the states, I think that that's probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorites. All right, do I see Omos and Veer will get individual main event push in the future? No, I don't see either one of them getting a main event push in the future. No. Do I feel WWE have Riddle dethrone Gunther? No, I don't think so. If they do, it will hurt Gunther's credibility going forward. No, I don't think Riddle's going to do that. Do I think WWE will sometimes do another type of screw job like they did with Brett? Nope. I don't see that happening. Because Brett was the pinnacle of it. Like, there's just I can't think of anybody in that type of realness when it comes to contractual issues to have that much reality in the contract issues to go. So what, you're gonna go over AEW? You know what I mean? Like, there's a contractual dispute and you're going over AEW. Like, nah. WCW and WWF at the time felt like even planes, felt like level planes. AEW doesn't feel like a level plane with WWE. So I don't know if any federation or promotion will ever feel like equal footing with WWE ever. I don't foresee that happening. It could, it should, but I don't foresee that happening. Sea Rise in a house. Grandma passed away, then your mom passed away 6 months later. Yikes, man. Sorry to hear that, man. It's so good to. I remember your grandma passing, but man, so sorry to hear that, man. It's so good for in the midst of all that you decided to join us tonight. That means a lot, man. Thank you so much for that. Definitely continued prayers for the peace in your family, man, through that really tough time. Tim Bruno's in the house. Tim Bruno likes to put Tim Bruno over. Say that Tim Bruno's in the house. Very nice. Tim Bruno's in the house. Thank you for your weekly contribution to PNP. Elvis, if you had full control of Raw, what for 5 or 6 matches you would make? These lists, man. Okay, so real quick, 5 or 6 matches. This is off the top of my head, man. Again, for Raw, I would do I can't even with who they have. It's just so difficult to really put together anything, man. Again, I would do Seth and Priest singles. Dom, I would put him. So again, I would do trios. I would do junior heavyweight championship. So again, I'll stand by that. So I'll have a trios tournament and I'll have a junior heavyweight tournament. So in the Shears, up there, Imperium's up there, there's trios that can happen. And then you have junior heavyweights, man. I would make, you have JD McDonough, you have Cedric Alexander. You have enough people to have a junior heavyweight division, like 225 or less. 225 or less. There you go, man. I would do a junior heavyweight division. I would have Dom win the junior heavyweight championship. Talk about already becoming one of the most important as far as must see championships on Raw. If you had a junior heavyweight championship with Dom as the champion, oh man, that's fantastic. That will automatically make the championship relevant. You have Dom with the junior heavyweight championship, and then you have Rhea with the SmackDown Women's Championship, both of them carrying championships. That would be some really good heat. Tim Bruno says, yes, Finn Balor is going to turn on Damien Priest, or Priest going to interfere. One of Finn Balor matches, that is going to be it. I don't see a turn, man. I don't see either one of them having it being a successful babyface or heel right now with how they're booking him. I don't see either one of them benefiting from a turn. It needs to be gradual. It needs to have a lot of feeling in it. Otherwise, if it's just some knee-jerk turn, it's not going to work. Elvis, on Saturday, I met an Ohio State legend who played in the NFL in the 70s and 80s. Any guess who it was? Hint, he was drafted in 1974. The only guess that I have for you is Archie Griffin. That's all I have. Wait, so he played in the NFL in the 70s and 80s. Okay, yeah. Archie Griffin's my guess. If they're hinting at another Money in the Bank cash in at a mid title, yeah, why have a pay-per-view? I agree, man. Just do multiple Money Bank matches for certain titles at the pay-per-views. The only thing is, like, that would be overkill to me if you do multiple ones for each championship. I do like the I do like the fact that it's just one championship and that it creates that element of surprise. But you're cashing in on mid-card titles. Didn't Theory cash in on a mid-card championship last year? Wasn't it Seth or something like that? I think it was. Then he won the Money in the Bank, and it was clear that he wasn't ready to become world champion, which I think him winning the Money in the Bank was a bad call. And so, if I'm not mistaken, he cashed it in for the U.S. Championship, which is odd, super odd. Just a month away from birthday. Your birthday or mine? Because you're right about my birthday. It's a little under a month. Michael's in the building. After Raw went off the air, Rollins invited Priest into the ring to shake hands, which they did. Mike teasing the babyface. Might be a big ruse. Where's your Chris Jericho on screen graphic gone? Oh, that wasn't a Chris Jericho. That was just a random wrestling type of stance type random wrestler graphic. It wasn't Jericho. There you go. Oh, there you go. But I don't think that it does look like Jericho though. But I took it away because I like it a little bit. I like it to be a little bit more simple. Like it was like this is a little bit too busy for me now. So I took it away. So yeah. It's I like it sleeker. Like, yeah, very much sleek. Now you get to see this. And yeah, this isn't as big. This is, nice font. Then you have the subscribe right there. So you get to see more of the ambiance and the feel of the background, which I prefer. All right, let's see. Let's see. What is the point of Roman's new title, Jan? Agreed, especially when it's not his fault that he won the championship for both brands. And what do? They give him one championship for one brand. Like, here's how we reward you for winning both championships for one brand. We'll give you one championship to only be defended on one brand. That's a congratulations. Weird. I see EO and LA Knight winning Money in the Bank. Do you agree with me? If so, why or why not? So I can. EO perhaps if she breaks away from Bailey, but EO just doesn't have the it factor as far as main roster. Perfect in NXT, perfect in Japan, but you need character. You need some type of panache. You need that type of allure. So you need that type of allure when it comes to that. So I don't know, man. I don't see it. My guess would be I see I'm not sold on LA Knight either as far as a world champion. Like with what we see right now, LA Knight is going to win the Money in the Bank and be world champion within a year. Like I don't see it. I think that the fans have that type of thing where we want you to be like we're starting like wanting to put this person over. And since you aren't listening to what we say, like the person of the flavor of the month, basically, not from a standpoint of LA Knight. LA Knight's been putting in work for a long time. Nice guy. I've interviewed him before. He's been putting in work a long time. All right. One of the best mouthpieces in all of professional wrestling. But this is how fans work. Fans are fickle. Fans will pick the flavor of their particular flavor of the month. And then after that, they'll discard that flavor of the month for a shiny new toy, just like Tony Khan does, actually, by the way. And so I don't see that. I mean, it was somebody that was their flavor of the month that they were booing recently. And I was just like, see, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, people just can't. Fans just don't have patience. They just don't have that stick-to-itiveness. They don't have the ability to really buy in and lock in on a character. I will largely blame how WWE books wrestlers too. That's horrible. But there was some wrestler recently that I saw the reaction of fans to, and they started booing him a bit. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, this is it. This is the reason why WWE doesn't listen to fans much, because fans are so fickle. Do my kids like wrestling like I do? My middle child does. My youngest son, he's a big wrestling fan. My oldest son likes wrestling too, but not as much as my middle child does. Do you finally get to see main event Jey Uso? Nope. That's right, X-Doc, for sure. Jeff's in the building. I did hear about that too. Yeah, I did hear about that. I think that's better than what we were trying to get. I think he'll probably get a little bit more respect if he returns to the Fiend. But unfortunately, I think people are over Bray. I think they're over him. And it's sad. I do think that, like I said, he's just a beautiful mind, man. But he needs to be carved out. Like, his beautiful mind needs to be concentrated and sandpapered, so to speak, smoothed out, because he's just so out of the box and out there that it's not really conducive to the the fans, the pro wrestling fans. Movies, absolutely. Pro wrestling, no, not so much. It'll be a month for Rollins. July 1st, I think it'll be Balor versus Rollins 101 because it's in the UK. Yeah. I mean, Balor's from Ireland, though. I mean, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. I mean, I guess that is. Was it Northern Ireland as a part of the UK? Why would you make him the babyface of it all? Yeah. England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Yeah. I know my geography. Yeah. So where's Bray County at? I know that's in Ireland, but Bray County, Whitlow. Okay, it's the Republic of Ireland. Interesting. 20 kilometers south of Dublin City. Interesting. Okay. It looks beautiful. Nice beach. Very nice. I would like to visit Ireland. Yeah, it makes sense. It's in London, though. So that's in England. So I guess because it's in UK, they'll give Finn the rub there. But does Finn get the UK rub? So why are they? Yeah, I wouldn't give Finn. Finn's playing the heel, but they're going to give him the spot against Rollins, who's a babyface. Wouldn't that tarnish? Wouldn't that confiscate a bit Rollins' momentum if they're making him go against someone who's from the UK? That wouldn't make sense to me. I would definitely not book that. I wouldn't book that whatsoever. The Bloodline segment on SmackDown got 40 million views across social media and almost 3 million in ratings. That's what Storylines does for you. Christopher, sorry being here last week. My mom had rehabbing from stomach surgery. Thank you. It says you demand. Thank you very much. I'm glad. I hope she's better. Okay, so there's about 90 seconds left, 75 seconds left on the podcast. We got about a little bit left on the broadcast. So for those who are on the podcast right now, listening to the podcast, I'm going to wrap up. But I really appreciate each and every single person being a part of this and listening to this. You guys are awesome. I'm actually going to play some exit music for the actual podcast. So look, I've still got a little bit left on the broadcast. So if you're listening to the podcast right now and the archives, go to the YouTube, Facebook, go to YouTube, Pancakes and Powerslams YouTube page, and go check the archives to check the bonus and the extra from the podcast that is on the YouTube page, Pancakes and Powerslams. I am Dr. Chris Featherstone. For the podcast listeners right now, have a good night, everybody. And again, there's going to be the bonus live right now on Pancakes and Powerslams YouTube. Have a good night, everybody. God bless, and so long. Okay, y'all. That is the radio, the podcast that is gone now. That was the podcast. All right. So the bonus is PNP Nation. We're still on live right now. All right, Christopher. Do I see Montez Ford maybe getting a final shot for qualifying calls of the ending of the finish against Knight? He would be huge for Money in the Bank. I mean, I think Montez winning would be fantastic. But I think Bronson Reed's going to get a last chance spot in there. And if they do a last chance spot for Raw and a last chance spot for SmackDown. I think that Bronson Reed and Montez Ford should win. So if they have all the losers of the qualifying matches go against each other in one match, and Bronson Reed should win the Raw one. And then they have all the losers from SmackDown go against each other in one match. I think Montez Ford should win that. So Bronson Reed and Montez Ford should both be in the Money in the Bank, and that's how you put them in there. If Montez does go into Money in the Bank, do you see him as the MVP but not winning? Yeah, I think I can see that happening. Just imagine the spots that Montez Ford or Ricochet are going to do if that happens. It's going to be very appealing for the crowd. Let's just say that. Booker C said on commentary on tonight, "I'll do it for you." Nice, very nice. The first Money Bank winner, Edge. Yes, very nice, great job, Christopher in the People's Wrestling Channel. All right, let's get these questions out real quick. Would you not say having Rollins defending the title on NXT builds NXT? I'm guessing they would do Corbin versus Carmelo at Great American Bash. No. I mean, why are you trying to build NXT? You're building NXT just for them to go on the main roster. Now here's the thing. That is a gutsy move for them to do. Okay. I'm not 100% opposed to it because it will attract some interest. However, NXT is just not carved to have that main roster feel to it. It just doesn't feel main roster. It feels super niche. It feels just indie-ish. And just having him be on, like, that would be like someone, an indie, like a world champion from a major company going to an indie show and defending their championship. Now, for that show, yes, like there's going to be a bump. But after that show, I don't see a bump. Like I'll see that it'll just fade away again. Maybe the next week to see if he's still on there. But when you see the fact that he's not on there, like they'll drop off again. So and again, here's the thing: you're building NXT. You're building NXT for what? Are you going to keep the same formatting, the same everything else? Like, are you exposing? Like, are you trying to gain more people in NXT to say, "Hey, look what we got"? But is that enough to keep them though? So that's the thing. Is it enough to keep them? That's the big thing. Gaining and getting these numbers. Okay, cool. Like, sure. But can you keep them though? That's the thing. And here's what's confusing to me. You're having Rollins. You're having Seth Rollins basically come down to NXT to go against Braun Breaker for the World Heavyweight Championship, but you have an entire roster on Raw who are vying for the championship. But you're going to accept the challenge on NXT of someone who can't even beat the NXT champion. That, again, makes no sense. Corbin versus Carmelo, again, that's something that doesn't make sense. Because Corbin is one of the worst wrestlers in all of professional wrestling. Like, not as far as athleticism, but as far as his momentum is concerned, as far as him being an actual wrestler, his win-loss record. Now, Baron Corbin's solid in the ring, and I think he's a heck of a character. I said this many times. He should turn babyface. People are waiting to like Baron Corbin. I like Baron Corbin. I think he has a ton of potential, but how they've made Baron Corbin has been very lousy. And so by him going down to NXT and getting a world title shot, that doesn't really help NXT because it's not healthy. It just doesn't really help the product by Baron Corbin being the champion. All right, I'm going to go real quick. All right, Little Cry and Vampiro set Sting, my favorite wrestler, on fire. But I was 6 years old at Crow Scene for Halloween in 2000. Yeah, Sting's my all-time favorite, and I wasn't a fan of that either. You met Randy Grandishar. Okay, very nice. Okay, very nice. That's who it is, Randy Grandishar. Were you still thinking about putting some clips on TikTok? I know you're busy, but it might bump up the subs. Man, that's the thing, man. I just I'll consider having a PNP TikTok with just a bunch of clips. It's just so my schedule is so busy, y'all. If someone wants to help, if someone does TikTok and is very good with that, I'll create a PNP account and I'll give you the password and you go on my channel. Like I need someone who's really good in media too, though. Like I'm all about presentation. So let me know if you're good in media, if you're good with algorithms, if you're good with SEO, stuff like that. We'll talk. I'll set up a PNP TikTok. You can put clips on there. You can put interviews on there, whatever. Like I'm willing. It's just I can't do anything else that's going to like consume my time because my schedule is so packed. When I say U.S. title looks good, I think it's okay. It's okay. It hasn't really grown on me that much, but it's okay. They should have gave Roman the old undisputed title, but revamped. I can see that. I would revamp it. The undisputed title didn't really wow me, but that's a better option. Yeah, I like. You know what? That's actually a much better option than the gold plated championship. I hope Heyman still carries around the two titles. Having him on Raw once again just shows how off it was. True. That would be funny, actually. That would be very funny. One of my favorite shirts, the Randy one I haven't even worn, hoping to get an autograph back with this black with the snake head. Oh, nice. Rollin. Do I have any updates on Tammy Sitch's legal woes? Recently, somehow she's been taking shots at Francine, defunct ECW. She's been taking shots at Francine from jail and prison. Yeah, I did hear about that. I did see that. I actually chatted with Francine not too long ago, actually. In fact, let me email Francine. I chatted with Francine. Yeah. I'm actually, yeah. Okay. I don't have to tell me that right now, but yeah, I might reach out to her. I'm actually looking at her email right now. All right. Apparently, Triple H is going to redesign both women's titles and rename them. I heard about that. I'm a fan of that. Graphic looks like Jericho and Cena. Interesting. I don't think that's what it meant to be, but sure. Austin Theory attempted to cash the Money Bank of the world titles a couple times, but he was intercepted. I do remember that. And he attacked before he could cash it in. His U.S. title cash in was unsuccessful. And that was against Seth, right? Or was it Lashley? I think it was Seth, if I'm mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, it was Seth that it was unsuccessful against, right? Cody being on Miss TV did nothing for him. Yes, I agree. Did I hear about the attendance at Double or Nothing? Also about the fan that was watching Battleground on their phone. No, I didn't hear about the fan that was watching Battleground on their phone. I did hear that the attendance, I mean, there was like conflicting stuff about Double or Nothing. Like there was a bunch of pictures going around as far as just the hard cam area being so bare. But I did see like a bunch of the other in the arena being pretty solid. So we'll see. I mean, like I've been to 20 years worth of wrestling stuff, and they don't like the hard cam the hard cam section on. I was just at SmackDown a few weeks ago, like a couple months ago, and the hard cam section was I mean, there was a lot of people on the hard cam section. But I mean, there's some areas that are tarped off because they just don't have the people. I mean, they genuinely tarp the hard cam section off and move people, to other spaces in order to aesthetically make it look nice. And so, yeah, WWE's had tarped off events too. So I'm not sure about the Battleground on their phone. Shoot me a text, tweet me at Chris Prolific, and shoot me something as far as what that's all about. I'm intrigued. I did hear they only sold like 700 tickets for one of their upcoming Collision shows, though. That's bad. And I heard that Punk's announcement didn't bump up the ticket sales either. So, oops. I agree. Bray should do movies. I would bring back the See No Evil series for him. That would be interesting. What's up, Josh? This was the best match for last week in NXT or Night of Champions, right? Last weekend, I didn't watch NXT. I watched highlights of the AEW, so I don't remember too much about that. Night of Champions. The tag match was intriguing. Favorite house day player of all time, Eddie George. Favorite type of pizza, pepperoni. I like a lot of meat on my pizza. Like stack up the protein. Do I see McIntyre Seth opponent in the future? Possibly. He would be a good contender. Was going through the garage. My mom was a huge Sting and Kevin Nash fan. Found her to WCW old school stuff, especially the NWO, Wolfpack with Sting and Nash, Luger, Savage the K-Dog t-shirt and a Sting cup. Nice. Very nice. Corbin actually got a win on NXT. He beat Trick Williams. Okay, so he got one win. He couldn't cut it on the main roster, so he gets a win on NXT. Again, that doesn't show the momentum of NXT. That doesn't show the status of NXT. Someone who just completely is a jobber on the main roster is able to win on NXT in order to get it. And that win against Trick Williams is momentum for him to be champion. So, or to be a contender. He won't win, but at least a contender. So, okay. Having Punk come back, who has buried company, says it all. They're trying to get ratings. And as you saw, he was partially booed. Oh, and definitely the talking tour was Sting and DDP. We got a Toys R Us. Nice. All right, family. Great time as always. Thank you. It's time to go. Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. I'll see you later. I'll see you later.